Let's come to this now. The Police and Prison Civil Rights Union is condemning the utterances made by the Independent Police Investigative Directorate. This is in response to IPID's concerns about the large number of suspected criminals dying at the hands of cops. Now, the police union says at least 69 officers have been killed since the beginning of the year, and it says no police officer should die with a gun in their hand. But for more on this, we're now joined by the union's Richard Mamabolo. Richard, thank you so much for your time and a very warm good morning to you. Let's talk about the statements by IPID saying that they're quite concerned about the number of alleged criminals dying at the hands of SAPS, saying that this has further motivated their investigations. What's your response?
Yeah, good morning to you and the viewers. Look, we're quite concerned about the reckless statement that was made by IPID, especially that it comes in the wake of having witnessed so many police killings and, of course, violent crimes that have been continuing in the country. Now, we view the statement as suggesting that whenever police are conducting their duties, which is, of course, provided for within Section 205 of the Constitution, which is to serve, to combat the crime and, of course, to do investigations. We feel that this statement suggests that police should not continue with their work, the kind of work that they've been doing, especially since there have been such cases that the IPID speaks of, which took place in KZN, because under normal circumstances, police would be killed and, of course, would not be protected whenever they would react to criminals. In most cases, they are charged. So we cannot continue with the same trend. That is why the minister, as well as the National Police Commissioner, have been saying that we need to obviously look into how we deal with this matter. We, in the short term, of course, we feel that it can no longer be that police should die with their firearms. But part of the challenge, really, that the bigger challenge here is the fact that, you've got Section 49 of the Criminal Procedure Act, which speaks to, the use of firearms by police officers. We have been engaged with the minister to look into how it can actually be reworked so that it provisions, or rather it gives police members more support. So we think that the statement made by IPID is on the basis of the fact that there are no clear legislative processes which actually defend police. But again, it will then mean that members of the police service, whenever they are confronted with such criminals, they would need to obviously wait until the criminals shoot first before they can retaliate.
Richard, perhaps paint a picture for us in terms of the incidents that you're seeing around the country where members of SAPS are dying at the hands of, criminals, and also the brazen retaliation and attack that you are seeing, and how many members so far have died, and that number being worrisome to you.
Yes, we know of 69 members who have been killed since the beginning of the year. And besides that, there have been many others who have got, career-ending injuries, who can no longer go to work. And of course, most times when police are attacked, they are either attacked for their firearms or sometimes for the cases that they're investigating. So in South Africa, wearing a police uniform makes you a target to criminals, and yet there has not been much done to protect them. We have as well spoken to the SAPS for quite some time to say to them that we need to have a clear plan around how we end police killings. And up to so far, there really isn't any plan. Now, it cannot then therefore be that when police officers decide that enough is enough and they're going to confront these criminals who, by the way, in most cases, the ones that IPID speaks about, we're having firearms when we're ready to kill police officers. When police officers react in the manner that they did, you then have IPID making such comments. So it's something that we definitely need to have further engagements on, but as well as look into the broader solutions that can actually ensure that we save as many police lives as possible.
And I suppose my last question to you before I let you go, what's the clear instruction now to members of the SAPS when dealing with crime? I mean, we have a crime focus this morning on, how even with the festive season looming, locals and international tourist safety should be a priority, but also the lives of members of SAPS should be a priority as well. What's the clear instruction to members of SAPS?
Yeah, look, we want to encourage our members, especially during this time where crime levels are on the rise, to work in larger groups to ensure that they've got proper shifts. You would know that normally during this festive season, you would have more extended shifts. And of course, there are obviously operational matters that we will be engaging with the the National Commissioner about to ensure that members do get sufficient time to rest, but as well as ensure that the shifts that they work on are protected, and of course they are wary of the areas within which they provide these services. So for us, it's not only about tourists and all these other people, but it's also about ensuring that the safety and security of all South Africans is always prioritized.
We'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Richard Mamabolo, for joining us from the Police Prisons Civil Rights Union.